You can probably see the visuals of that, which is a cruise that I'm doing in December in 2024. I'm going to be joined by a range of great guests from all over the world, and we're going to be discovering our galactic history. It's a cruise traveling through Mexico, leaving Orlando, Florida. I hope you can join me. But talking about join, let's talk about you. Where are you joining from around the world? I love to connect with you. I love hearing where in the world you are joining the live streams from. We do these about 4 times a week. And if you don't know me, I'm Paul Williams. Paul Williams Official is the YouTube account, and I am Paul Williams. Just so if you didn't know who I was, I'm Paul Williams. Where have we got people joining me from? I know we have Aaron, and to begin with, Aaron is our wonderful moderator. He's the friendly guy in the chat that is moderating the chat. He's also helping me with all of the questions. So what he does is he tees up the questions that you perhaps might have, and then he lets me know so that I can answer your questions. It's what I love with these live streams. I love to answer questions that people have. When I get a lot of DMs or a lot of comments, it's very challenging to get to everybody's question. So one of the reasons that I love to do these lives is that in real time, I can answer some of your specific questions. They might be personal questions. They might be about spirituality. We get in this environment, in this live environment, we get an opportunity to connect, and I get to answer some of your questions live. During the lives, I always get lots of questions via email. And what Aaron does is he puts together a list of all of the best questions. Hello, Sue, I see you joining there. A list of the best questions so that in these lives I can answer some of those questions that people have submitted. So if you've emailed me and you're joining live, I hope I can address some of your direct questions. And if you've got a question that arises, or if you've got something that you want to ask, we have at least an hour when we do these live broadcasts. So hopefully we get to your question. If not, join us tomorrow, and then we'll get to answer your question. So let me look now to my screen below and see the Adele we have, and we have lots of people. We have Tammy, great to see you. I said hello to you, Sue. Always great to connect with you. And if, Sue, you've got questions, I'd love to answer them. I really like to make these live streams really interactive. I like to connect with you. I like to do it live. I tend to not like doing a lot of recorded videos. I really like the energy of live interactions. It gives us a chance to better connect. There's an energy that comes with live that it's just not quite there when you record something and upload it to YouTube. So that's why I've committed to really do these lives regularly. My goal is 4 times a week. Obviously, having so many clients that come and see me one-on-one, it's impossible for me to always guarantee 4 a week, but I certainly aim to do it. And time-wise, it's generally, let me just turn on my clock. I like to, you hear a little bit of a buzzing in the background. I like to turn on my clock because that gives me an idea of time. I don't like to go over the time allocated because I like to honor your time. But we generally take about an hour. And I never really know where these live sessions are going to go. I'm really guided by Spirit as to where we go on the particular day. The reason I like to work that way is people's needs do arise in the moment. And if I've prepared something ahead of time, I'm not best able to meet the needs of an individual that's perhaps coming to me with a question or an issue. So I don't prepare anything. I just allow whatever needs to come out. I mean, I have an idea of where I want to go, but this is open enough for everybody to contribute to these live broadcasts. Aaron, why don't we look at some of the questions, and let me just greet some of you. We've got Robin that's joined. I always love when you can tune in, Robin from New York. So great to see you. Dina, great to see you. Great having people here in the chat. A lot of you have known that really what I predominantly teach people as a communicator, as a teacher, as a guide, is to how to create, how to manifest. My work began as a student of Dolores Cannon. I studied under her method. I studied with Dolores Cannon. And probably something that she is most famous for is a saying that has been repeated time and time again online, is that we create our reality. Or that we are here to learn how to manipulate energy. Occasionally when people hear that for the first time, they don't know what that means. If you don't know what that means, is to manipulate energy. What she meant by that is that we're meant to learn how to mold or shape consciously our reality. Everything is energy, and that includes you. Since quantum physics came along years ago, we now have a scientific understanding that the world is not full of solid matter, that everything is indeed energy at the molecular level, oscillating, vibrating at different frequencies. That includes everything that you perceive as physical. It means that you are an energetic being. You are an etheric, energetic being. Your words, your thoughts are energy, molding and shaping your reality. Those words are either going to create a wanted reality or an unwanted one, depending upon the thoughts that you are admitting and that you are creating. Furthermore, the thoughts that you identify and expand and become your experience. This is why metaphysics teaches us a lot about thoughts. Thoughts create things. If you don't like the way your life has been going, if you don't like the trajectory of your life, you can change it anytime you want. As infinite awareness, and our essence, we all are infinite awareness, we choose every day what we identify with. We're either identifying with the thoughts that are creating a wanted reality, or the thoughts that are creating an unwanted one. My job as a teacher and guide is to teach you how to create consciously, to mold and shape your reality, or to manipulate your reality to create a wanted reality. There is no lack and limitation to this. The only lack and limitation that exists, and I know I'm going to be answering a lot of questions in this statement, is that which you set for yourself. And that's a direct quote from Dolores Cannon, is that the only lack and limitation that we can experience is that which we can set or that which we believe. One of the most common questions I get asked is it possible to heal from this particular ailment? Is it possible to manifest this specific thing to me? Now the answer is, in the statement, in the quote I just read you, the only lack and limitation is that which you set or which you believe for yourself. Say, I create my reality. Now you've either been creating intentionally or you've been leaving it to what I define as chance and allowing the identification of what you've been thinking about, those thoughts, to create that reality. This is why our frequency is important. What your frequency, what your energy is vibrating toward, it is the frequency in which you are attuned to. If your frequency is attuned to negativity, anxiety, depression, then more of that is going to show up in your experience. Fear attracts fear. Love attracts love. Abundance attracts abundance. Scarcity attracts scarcity. Whatever you're admitting is what you're going to receive. That is why it's important that we give attention, that we cultivate a clear signal to the universe. Because the universe is not giving you what you want. The universe is simply responding to your signal, the vibration in which that you're signaling out to the universe. Now we get a chance to tip the scales. If the predominance of your thoughts are positive, then that is the signal, the vibration you're attuned to. We all have challenging days. Even myself, I have days which I feel down, I feel discouraged. But the predominance of my thinking, and I've cultivated this, I've trained my mind to do this. It doesn't happen by chance. See, that's a common misconception, is that some people are naturally this way. I certainly wasn't. I used to be very pessimistic, very negative, until I understood that I was creating my reality. And that is when I began to cultivate an inner narrative that was vibrating at a positive frequency. Because I understood that my thoughts create the conditions of my life. See, it takes enormous responsibility, I think, when we accept that we're creating our reality. I think it's far easier to believe that life is random. In fact, that used to be what most people believed, that life was random, that chance defined our life, either luck or unluck. Perhaps it's a belief that if we were born into a certain family, if we had certain genetics, then we would have a good life. What I've come to observe and study through countless people over the years, it's our vibration and our attitude and our belief in the conditions of our life that's really creating it. Now you become, say this after me, I become like the people I hang around. who you spend the majority of your time listening to. Now, these might be teachers, guides, friends, anybody you're closely associated with. You're going to become like the top 3 to 5 people that you listen to most of the time. That's what you're going to become like. So if you're hanging out with negative people, pessimistic people, well, you're going to become like those people by association, by exposure to. Likewise, if you're hanging out with positive people, inspiring people, people that uplift you, then you're going to become like those, because what you focus on expands. Aaron's got the first question lined up and he's beat me to it. Aaron is wonderful. He's always so attuned. Let me answer that first question from Olivia. How long does it normally take for manifestation to come to fruition? I love this question from Olivia. It's a question that a lot of us ask when it comes specifically to manifestation, is how long is it gonna take? Now, the fact that you're focused on the delay means that you're seeing that you are in absence of what you want to create. In order for you to manifest anything, first you have to see and you have to believe that you already have it. You have to convince and impress upon your subconscious mind that you already have. When we visualize, to the subconscious, it does not know the difference between what is being experienced and what is being impressed upon it. Let me put it this way. When you visualize, you are convincing your subconscious mind that you are experiencing it in the now. This is why it's very important, because the mental plane predicts and projects onto the physical plane. There are 3 planes of being. There is infinite awareness, there is the mental plane, and then there's the physical plane. The physical plane is everything that we experience in our life. Now, with this mental plane, or better refined or referred to as the subconscious, this impresses upon and creates. This is why your subconscious mind impresses upon your conscious mind and creates. When we look at areas like hypnosis, people that work in the area of hypnotherapy know this, is that if you can impress upon the subconscious, it might be a habit that you want to abolish. If you can impress upon the subconscious to quit a particular habit, it could be smoking, it could be losing weight. If you're able to impress upon the mental plane, you will experience the freedom, the result on the physical plane, because the mental plane projects onto the physical plane. Now, psychology understands this with the subconscious. Hypnotherapy and hypnosis understand this with the subconscious. This is why it's very powerful to work in and with the mental plane or the subconscious realm. It impresses upon. Think of it as a giant printer that is printing upon the pages of life. This is what we want to actively focus on, because this is imprinting and creating the reality in which we're experiencing. Now, you have the ability, you have the power to change anything in this mental sphere or realm. Now, yourself as infinite awareness has an infinite opportunity. You can imprint upon the mental plane anything that you can believe. I said this a few days ago in a live. It is just as easy to manifest $1 in infinite awareness than it is to manifest $1 million. The reason that people seldomly manifest the $1 million is at the level of the mental plane. They don't really believe it. I've experienced that the vast majority of people that practice this find it relatively easy to manifest the $5, the dollar, the cup of coffee, the perceived easy things, because that is what they believe. But when it comes to some of the bigger things, the dream home, the $1 million, the perfect relationship, that is where we really need to work on the mental plane. Because I tell you what, a printer is always going to print out exactly what is on the template. Those that are familiar with the old printing presses, when we massively produced newspapers and magazines, you would understand that the printing press would print what was on the template. If you can affect the template, then you can produce consistently the results you want. If the template you've created, if the belief system that you have in the mental plane is negative and pessimistic, that is going to be what is printed every time consistently, because this is machinery. This is like machinery. This is a law. Say this after me. The law of attraction is a law. And laws work every time. Just like the law of gravity is working exactly according to its law every time. You don't believe me? I won't suggest you jump out of something, but you know where I'm going with that. We know that the laws of gravity are always in operation. And likewise, so are the laws of attraction. It can't be any other way. So when that question came through from Olivia is when. A better question to ask Olivia is, when are you going to believe it? When are you going to know it? Because when you know it and when you believe it, then you will print upon the conditions of your life exactly what is being printed from the template. I hope that makes sense to you. Let me read some of the comments. I love engaging with you. Sue has said, I do not hang out with humans. I'm very much by myself. I talk to the birds, dogs, and Mother Earth. Let me encourage you, Sue. Often we hide ourselves away from others. And the motivation can be fear. Now, what I've come to learn in my work is that I specifically am here to serve and to communicate. I used to be locking myself away, disconnected, fearful at my core, because I believed this thing: people were bad, or people were going to hurt me, or people were unkind, or whatever the belief system that I subscribed to way back then. I would ask you this question. Maybe you can let me know in the chat, Sue. Why is it that you don't hang out with other people? I want to hear the answer to that. So I want to know the reason why you've decided that. And hello, Laura, to you. You've asked something. I don't have a single friend who's interested. Well, you've got a friend here. And whoever is joining this, you have a friend right in front of you. I'm with you live 4+ times a week. And if you follow me over on Instagram, I do more lives over there. You can ask me questions. You can connect with me. Aaron will let you know my email. You can write to me. I'm here to be your friend. I'm here to connect. Sure, I may not be there physically with you, but I certainly can be with you daily, and we can certainly connect in real time. So you do have a friend, and his name's Paul. And you're also my friends because you're the ones that I'm investing my energy into. I'm fulfilling my soul's purpose doing this. And to expand upon what I'm asking or alluding to there with you, Sue, is why is it that you're not there with people? See, when I discovered my soul's purpose, I realized that I'm here to serve people. I couldn't serve people by locking myself away as I used to do, or trying to remove myself from someone else's projection of negativity. Often we're so afraid of what other people may think about us or the criticism that they may have that we stop ourselves from shining. There's a great quote that I love that says, "The brighter you shine, the more shadows you will cast." I noticed this in my work. As I began to shine brighter, I was casting more shadows. I was having more people in the chat becoming negative towards me, projecting criticism. I acquired upon this and wondered why. Often we can personalize it. Until I came to the conclusion that it was really nothing to do with me, and that their projection and that their consciousness and all of that had to do with them. When you cease to personalize what people think about you, what people say about you, suddenly you're free to be your authentic self. Now that's a powerful position for me to be in. Sue, like me, what is holding you back? Or perhaps it's someone else that's watching. What's holding you back from being your authentic self? I was a teacher for low-income children and disabled children. I live 2 hours away from a decent town. I used to serve most of my life. It's because I live so far away from a town. I live 8 miles down the road. Transportation is poor. So I'm sure there are people within your community, and even if there aren't, you've got an online community here, and I know you're consistently showing up. Everything is energy. Now, this works with energy healing. It works with hypnosis. It doesn't matter even if you're specifically in a location with another. The fact that you are connecting with another means you're connected, you're within that energetic field. Everything is energy. I'm glad you're showing up here because you are connecting with a group. And say hello to Sue. Connect with Sue. Tammy, you might want to send just a comment towards Sue. Send Sue some love. Aaron, send Sue some love. Let her know she's a part of a community right here. Dolores Cannon taught me this years ago, that we're never alone. Now, we may feel alone, but we aren't really ever alone. We are all interconnected. Through this spiritual Wi-Fi that we're connected into, we're connecting all around the world. Right now, there we go. Sue, Aaron is sending you some love. Hopefully others will also send you some love. My goal here is to create not just live streams, but to create community. Community of like-minded souls that can come together in real time and feel a part of something. It's a part of my mission, it's a part of my calling, is to create higher vibrational communities where people feel that they belong. There was a time in my life I felt really disconnected. I had a spiritual awakening 17 years ago, where before we had social media in the way we have it today. And when you wake up spiritually, when you have such a profound spiritual awakening, and there isn't anyone rather in your immediate environment, it's very challenging. You feel very isolated. So I know what that is like. When technology began to expand and improve, and we can do these types of live streams, one of the first desires that I had was to build community. I started by opening, and this was about 3 or 4 years ago, Aaron will know this, a Facebook group. And we had up to, I think it was 20,000 people join that group. It just grew and grew and grew until I started to get directed to invest in other things like Instagram, and then that grew and grew and grew. And now I'm being guided towards really building the same types of community here on YouTube. If you believe in this, if you believe in this community, I encourage you to subscribe as one of the members. I know there are Robin, she is already a member, and we've got probably some other members. The great thing about the membership is it's a better way. One, the first and foremost that is happening is we're creating community. We're putting our money, we're putting our energy into saying this is for me. Secondly, it's giving you teachings, it's giving you inspiration, it's giving you guided hypnosises that are going to be exclusive for people, exclusive live streams, and it gives you a sense of community. When we belong to a club or a community, we generally pay a subscription fee or a joining fee to be a part of that community, and those funds go to helping better the equipment, better the facilities, and likewise, we've got the same on here. So if you resonate with that, I encourage you to be a part of this community where you can sow a very small amount of money to be a part of this. All right, Aaron, what have we got as the next question? And Tammy says she's sending love, peace, and blessings. Dina has said, you're never alone, Sue, sending you positive vibrations and love. I love those comments. Sue, do you already feel more connected? Let me know in the comments. Do you feel more connected already by just having this digital community here that's sending you love? And see, there are people from all over the globe that are sending you love. So you aren't alone. There's your evidence right there. I wanted to read this quote to you. Focus on everything, it's called. What you are thinking about and what you are talking about, you are inviting into your life. So what is it that you're thinking about most of the time? What is it that you're talking about most of the time? For other people that are watching, what are you thinking about most of the time? What are you talking about most of the time? See, why this is so important, because what we're thinking about and what we're expressing and talking about is what we are creating for ourselves. Now, if we don't like what that is, I want to hear a few of you. Can you let me know what that is? What are we talking about and what are we thinking about most of the time? Sue, specifically, let me know in the comments. Robin, let me know in the comments. Aaron, let me know in the comments. Dina, let me know in the comments. What are we thinking about? What are we talking about most of the time? And then I'll get to James's question next up. Actually, we're right at the halfway point. We're going to take a short break. And as we're in the break, people can write their responses to that. We're going to do a short break, and then I'm going to come back. Just so you know the format, what we'll do is at the half an hour point, Okay, we are back. And you've probably just seen that little bit of an ad. Sorry about there being no sound. We'll work on that. There's sound, there's a voiceover that comes with that. We will have that worked out for next time. The reason I'm showing you that and will continue to show you that is for those that resonate with it, that is an invitation to you. I'm speaking on a cruise in December, leaving Miami, Florida, traveling through Mexico with a range of other spiritual teachers. It's a 7-day cruise. We're going to be doing teaching. For those that register and want to join that cruise, I'm going to be offering you a free one-on-one session with me as a part of that cruise. So you get to work with me one-on-one. It gives me an opportunity to not just teach live, but to also connect with you in person. You might say, yeah, but I don't have the funds to do that. Remember, our words are important. Our beliefs are important. I've witnessed this time and time again with people I work with. When you believe, when you impress upon the mental plane and you decide you're going to do something, that is when this infinite awareness, the universe will align and bring to you that which you desire. I was reading the comments in the break and I saw that someone had said, I think it was Tammy was talking about a bad marriage and talking about loneliness. See, the more loneliness that you talk about, the more loneliness you're bringing to you. Because what you are thinking about and what you are focused on is creating more of that. You're giving an invitation to the universe to bring more of that to you. That is why it's so important that we focus on what we want. One of my goals during these live streams is to make you feel good. And so I like using energy. I like using passion to build you up, to make you feel good, because I know when you feel good, you create good in your life, because what you focus on, what you listen to, expands. Say this after me: what I focus on expands. Our thoughts become things. Tammy, what you're thinking about, if you're thinking about a bad marriage, that marriage can only get worse. If you're focused on how bad the marriage is, you're going to see more show up in your experience that's going to match that vibration. Now, that doesn't mean we're necessarily going to stay with something forever. What I've come to learn about the universe and about everything in reality is that it's in a constant state of flux and movement. Nothing stays the same. Everything is energy, and energy is always moving. But if we want to move it to a more positive place, we have to direct it. You see, Tammy, you are the director of your life. You are the main actor in your play. If you don't like the way the script is going, you can change it anytime you want. Now, let me know who I'm quoting with that quote. A lot of you are going to know, particularly if you're subscribed to this channel. Say I create my reality. Say I'm writing my script. And I know Aaron knows this because we've been having conversations, is that Aaron has shifted from a place of pessimism to a place of positivity. Aaron has realized that he's creating his reality through the thoughts he's thinking, through the words he's speaking. And he's even noticed in a few weeks of trying this, of practicing this, that things in his life are beginning to shift. Because he's writing the script, he's creating it. He is the director directing it. He's the main actor playing out the part. Dolores Cannon taught us, and there's the answer, if you haven't beat me to it already, is we are writing the script. If you're writing how bad your marriage is, how bad your life is, then you're going to get more of that because you're writing it. But if you don't like the way that the script is going, if you don't like the way it's playing out, you can change it anytime you want, because thoughts become the reality of your life. What you impress upon the mental plane is experienced upon the physical plane. That is actually how powerful you all are. And I always get the oh yeah, but people. Oh yeah, but, and they've normally got their arms crossed when they say it. Oh yeah, but. It's too simplistic. And yet we complicate life, don't we? We complicate it, and by us complicating it, we end up with a complicated life, because whatever you project, you get. All right, Aaron, let's go to the next question. I want to get to as many questions as possible. Now, if you've got a specific question, I want you to write Aaron question and write it, and then Aaron will rewrite it for me to read out. It's the most efficient way, so I'm not looking down, so I'm looking at you most of the time, and I don't have to scroll through all of the comments. All right, wonderful. James asks, what is the signs that my manifestation is close to happening? The main sign is you know it. You believe it. No one is going to talk you out of it, James. When you know it, you know it's going to show up in your experience. See, first we have to believe. If you don't believe, you'll never receive. This works in the positive and this works in the negative. Whatever you believe you're getting. Say what I believe I get. If you believe that life's hard, that marriages are miserable, that nothing ever good happens to you, guess what? You're writing the script. You're creating it. When we accept that, when we understand that, and when we have the penny drop and we have the aha moment, that is what I call the point of power, because that is the point that you can pivot and you can create something different. You can actually have anything you want. But the question is, what is it that you can believe for yourself? Can you believe that you can attract wonderful things? Can you believe that you can attract someone that's going to love you and respect you and uplift you? See, if you can believe it, you can have it. If you can believe in abundance, that you can live in a beautiful home, that you can feel wonderful connected relationships, that people like you, that people love your energy and love being around you, then you can have that. If you believe that you're unlovable and unlikable, then that is the energy in which you're emitting. What do you think people are going to respond to? I'll share this little story with you. I used to believe in my own inadequacy. I didn't feel I was good enough. Now, some people hear me communicate now and they find it hard to believe that. I grew up in a challenging family. I was severely bullied as a kid because I was different. All of the signaling I got when I was growing up was that I was unlovable, I was unliked, nobody liked me. I couldn't make friends. I felt inadequate to that. That was my responsibility. I took in the experience and I believed what those people were saying. I used to get called stupid Paul. I believed it. You know what happened? I began to manifest that. I didn't do well with grades at school because I began to believe that I was stupid because people were telling me. And if they were telling me, boy, they must have been right. and that I wasn't good enough and people didn't like me and all of the things that I used to believe. Now, because I believed in that, another thing I used to believe is that I was incredibly shy and that I didn't have any power and nobody listened to me. That was once the narrative that played out in my experience. That was the reality that was impressed upon my mental life. Therefore, it was printed upon my physical life. Now, I said before that 17 years ago I had a spiritual awakening. I realized that I could turn it all around. I realized that I didn't have to identify with a shy, introspective person anymore. I realized that I was creating my reality, good, bad, or indifferent. I realized that I was infinite awareness, not the other way around, a human having some infinity somewhere, that I was this infinite being having a human experience. When I understood that, when I identified with that rather than all of the limitation that I once believed, that is where everything changed in my life. That is when I moved from a place of pessimism to optimism. That is when I moved from being someone that I identified with as being shy to someone that was confident, someone that was likable, someone that could share. And now that is all I see. Now, I don't say that to big note myself. I say that to encourage you, that you can have and be whatever you can believe in. How big can you believe? See, for me, it was a big belief. For me, it was a big jump from someone that was shy and introspective for someone that gets on 4 or 5 times a week and shares unapologetically with passion, with openness, with confidence, because that is what I believe. Now, I created that, Paul. Once upon a time, I created, I never achieve anything. No one likes me. No one wants to listen to me. Then I have power that I create and can influence. I influence people every single day all over the planet. Not because I'm special. I do it because I identify with the specialness in which we all are. See, what you're identifying with is what you're getting, is becoming your life experience. If you don't like what you've been getting, change it. We all have, and this is the next thing I want to jump into, things that we can be grateful for. One of the greatest tools I have drawn upon is the tool of gratitude. The reason that gratitude is so powerful is because what we're grateful for, we get more to be grateful for. What you put out, you get back. If you put out gratitude, if you're grateful for what you have, you're going to see more mirrored back to you that you want. Gratitude is the great amplifier. Gratitude is the great projector. Now, you might say, yeah, but I don't have this, and that. But what do you have? Let me know in the comments, what is the one thing that you know in this moment that you can be grateful for? Aaron, let me know. Others, let me know. Sue, let me know. Robin, let me know. What is the one thing that you've got right now that you've manifested, that you're experiencing, that you can be grateful for? It could be something simple. We know this when a disaster happens in one's life. Even in the moments as the disaster is happening, people get a different perspective. It might be an accident. They might almost be hit by a bus, and suddenly the perspective changes. Suddenly they go, oh, I was identifying with all this stuff. I was so miserable, and my life has just been spared. And they see the preciousness of life. See, if you've got breath in your lungs right now, if you've got feet that work and walk, if you've got a mind that can learn, You already have so much to be grateful for. You have infinite possibility that you can identify with. And yet, when I looked at some statistics last night when I was preparing for this live, said that they were really happy. In the last 4 years, that has dropped to 19%. Why is it that people feel so unhappy? Now, I work with people that are vastly wealthy, to people that have nothing and that have disease in their body. I see people that have very little have a lot of happiness, have a lot of abundance. So it really isn't about any of the external that brings any of that. It's really about the internal. It's really about what we believe. It's really about what we see that is creating. So you might say, yeah, but when I get that relationship or when my marriage becomes happy, then I will be. Now, this may seem, first you have to believe it before you ever see it. You have to believe before you see. See, the analytical mind will say, first I gotta see it, then I'll believe it. I'm not going to get my hopes up with this positive stuff. I got disappointed before. I want to see it first. And all you'll have with a mindset like that is more that you don't want. First, you've got to be happy and create it for yourself. See, I had an aha moment when it came to happiness. My guide said to me, where does happiness come from? I thought about that and I thought, well, most people are looking for it out there somewhere. They're looking for it in the relationship. They're looking for it in the job. They're looking for it in the marriage. The only place happiness can be experienced. And you can't go and fill a glass full of happiness and bring it back, can you? It's not a solid thing out there, is it? No, it's a vibration. It's an energy that you experience within. Everything that you want and are searching for can only be experienced within you. So let me take this one step further. The only way you can be happy and discover and connect to happiness is to find it within yourself. To find it within yourself, you have to create it for yourself. We don't just look inside and find it. We have to create it. We have to cultivate it. Happy. You know that you're only capable of giving it to yourself. Now, everything that we seek ultimately in the world, we have the ability to create. You want abundance in your life. You have the ability to create it. How do we create abundance? We have to think abundant thoughts. We have to think abundantly about our health, about our finances. See, if bills come in for you and you're giving out worry every time they come, then that's the energy in which you're emitting. So when the next bill comes along, you're going to feel more worry. You know what happens when my bills come in? I express gratitude. I express gratitude when I pay every bill that comes in. What I do there is very important. We all get bills. I'm grateful for the service provider that's giving me that service that's making my life good. See, when my energy bill comes in, if I wasn't getting that energy bill, if they weren't providing that service, none of these lights would work. This camera wouldn't be able to be turned on. When my internet bill comes in, I think about my internet connection, how I can connect with everybody in the world. Do you think that I feel down or depressed when that bill comes in? No, I pay it straight away. I feel grateful for it because it's giving me essential tools that I'm needing to do my mission. See, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. When you start to see through a different perspective, through a different lens, then the picture is different. Your world is different. You go from a place of pessimism to optimism. You go from a place of lack and scarcity to a place of abundance and joy. And you're creating it all because you are the only thinker in your mind, and you are the director, main actor, and producer of your own life. Remember, you can change it any time you want. Boy, I'm really excited today, and I'm really, energy creates energy. I hope you're getting some of the energy back. I know you are, Aaron. I can see you there, and you're loving the energy. And Tammy and Sue and Robin, I hope you're receiving this energy. Remember, like I said earlier, who we hang around, who we listen to, who we spend the majority of our time with is what we're becoming like. If there are people in your life that bring you down, that make you discouraged, that make you feel negative, that make you feel pessimistic, why are you spending time with them? With people that are going to uplift you, that make you feel good, that are going to inspire you, that are going to help you. That's what I do with people who inspire me. I listen to them every day. And then I use that energy in which they share with me, with you. See, that's how we should live. But we create our reality. So if we aren't experiencing that, we haven't cultivated it, we haven't created it for our life. All right, let's get to the next question, Aaron. I'm conscious we've got about 5 minutes left, so I want to get to one more question before we close today. Who's enjoyed this message today? Give me a thumbs up, give me a like, hit a like, say it's resonated. That is you connecting with this and conclude this time that we've had together. All right, Emily inquires, can I use the law of attraction to manifest a specific person or a relationship? This is a great question. I want to be very clear with this answer. You can never manipulate effectively. In fact, it's a really low vibration. I'm talking specifically about the negative side of manipulation. There is a positive side to manipulation. The positive side is to consciously mold or to craft. The negative side is to try to change somebody or convince somebody against their own will, to manipulate somebody. In fact, can you give me the exact dictionary definition of the negative connotation of the word manipulation, Aaron, and write it in the chat? I want to be specific about what the Oxford Dictionary says. Look up Oxford Dictionary, Aaron, and give me the definition of what manipulate means in the negative. I want to read that exactly to you. When we try to manipulate or control anybody else, it doesn't work, because what we get out comes back to us. If you're trying to manipulate somebody else, they're going to manipulate you. You're going to have someone else come in and manipulate you. We can't manipulate our way into the law. We can't manipulate the universe, because we only get back what we give out. If you're putting out manipulation in the negative, that is going to come back to you. A better way of us, you can have them. A better thing to do is to say to the universe, is to affirm to the universe that the perfect partner, that the perfect person is coming to me, that has all of the attributes that I admit, all of the attributes that I live, all of the attributes in which I am giving out, they are also giving. See, someone said this to me the other day. I don't know if they were serious or not. They said, I want to manifest a really hunky man that's that's really attractive, and I want to manifest a modeling career, and I want an infinite amount of money. I don't know if this person was joking or being serious. Now, the first thing I would ask that individual, how do you look after your body? If you want a first class modeling career, have you done what it takes to put yourself into a physical shape to have that career? Have you had abundantly positive thought? Do you have a high self-esteem? Are you admitting a energy which is contagious? Because you know what? The camera is going to capture everything. And energy is tangible. To be a model, to be someone that's going to attract a certain characteristic in another, you have to be that yourself. This is why often we look at our partners or our spouse or the conditions of our life and we want to blame the other person. But I would always say, go back to, what are you projecting? Are you positive? See, if you've got a negative partner, you have to question, what have you been spending your thoughts on? Because what you're getting out, you're getting back. It isn't that the universe is bad or it's judging you or that it has favorites. It's just responding to you. And if you don't like the way it's responding to you, you've got to respond to it differently. You have to give it a different signal. You have to show it what you want in order for it to respond and mirror back to you what you want. Now, Aaron, did you let me know what the definition from the dictionary was? Behavior that controls or influences somebody. Something often is dishonest in a way and they do not realize it. So dishonesty. See, we can't, if you put out dishonesty to the universe, guess what's going to come back to you? Things that are dishonest. See, when we steal from life, when we steal from others, energy, things, then people are going to steal from us. What you give out, you get back. This is a and I coined this phrase, this is a reflective universe. What you put out is reflected back to you. It's an energetic universe. It's a reflective universe. This is why we don't get what we want. And if you are in a wanting place or a desperate place, you just get more to want for and you get more to be desperate about. When you come from a place of belief, when you come from a place of knowing, then that energy is matched back to you and you've got more that you know. You have more to believe in, and whatever you are believing is what will be reflected back to you. I know actually this has resonated with many of you. I don't even need to read the comments to know that, because I know. Remember, you are like who you hang around. Perhaps you want to put it out to be in a really high vibrational environment and join us on the cruise in December. You don't need to even have the money to do that. You might just say, I'm putting my energy towards it. I'm believing that I'm going to attract that to myself. You see, when I started my work, I didn't have any of the resources to do. I didn't have the cameras. I didn't have the equipment. I used my mind. I used my belief to create and attract everything into my life. And now I stand here in front of you, having manifested all of it, having manifested a community of like-minded people, that together we are going higher and higher and higher. I'll see you next time in the live. Much love to you. Remember, you can email me. Aaron has put that in the chat. I'll leave this on for a few more moments if you want to copy that email. And I'll let you know as well, I read all of the comments. I might not be reading them in real time, but after I conclude these lives, I go through all of the comments and I read all of the comments. So I never miss anything that you say. So feel free, know that I respond to everything. Much love. Namaste.